Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 cars from the Grand Tour Season 2. So this show hasn't actually come out yet. It actually airs, I think, in early December. And in case you're unaware, the Grand Tour is basically like the new Top Gear, featuring Jeremy Clarkson, James May, Richard Hammond, and their show is all about cars, and it's incredibly cool. Now, so far, there have been a couple teasers and one official trailer for this show, but there's a lot of amazing cars in the TV show, at least so far. And what we're going to be doing today is going over the 10 best ones that have been revealed so far. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get it started and let's take a look at these awesome vehicles recreated in Grand Theft Auto Online. All right, so the first vehicle today is the Bugatti Tempesta, which is based off of the Lamborghini Aventador. Now, the one that they specifically drive in the Grand Tour is the Aventador S, which is brand new for 2017. And the Tempesta is awesome. This came out in the import-export update back in 2016. Now, the one we're using in this game and the one that they actually drive in the Grand Tour doesn't have all that many crazy mods on there. We don't have any, wicked bumper options. We don't have any of the big spoilers on there. It's pretty much stock. And that's one of the things I like about this vehicle is it still looks so menacing, even in its stock form, which makes it an incredibly awesome car. Not only is it great performance-wise in GTA, but it's also such a looker as well. And this, of course, is the Aventador S that Jeremy and the guys are going to be driving in the Grand Tour Season 2. So that is our first car today. Our second one is this bad boy over here, the Dinka Jester, which is based off of the Honda or Acura NSX. So this car is amazing. Now, the Jester was added, I think, all the way back in the business update or the High Life update, one of those two updates, and I love the NSX. It's kind of one of those underrated supercars, but it is incredibly cool look-wise. Now, all these cars I fear, I got the Grand Tour license plate on all of them. But I think this is amazing. And what's actually kind of funny is the first three vehicles we're going to be looking at today, the Tempesta, then the Dinka Jester, and the Coil Cyclone, the real life equivalent of those cars are all kind of competing against each other in one of the episodes that they're doing, which is really cool. So that's our second vehicle today. And the one they had in the show is bright red too, which is kind of cool. Now, moving on to our third vehicle today, it is the Coil Cyclone. So the Coil Cyclone is based off of the Rimac Concept 1, which is a fully electric supercar, and I think it's manufactured in Croatia. Now, fun fact, or not so fun fact, this is actually the car that Richard Hammond ended up crashing, and he nearly died as he tumbled over a hill in this car. So I'm not sure if he had trouble, controlling it or if it overpowered him in general. But that's one of the reasons why I wanted to wait for this car to come out so I could make this episode, is because it's one of the feature cars of this TV show. So the Coil Cyclone, based off the Rimac Concept 1. The one that he was driving in game had like blue highlights on the front here, but I obviously couldn't do that. But that'll have to suffice in the white and black right there. And that is our third vehicle today, the Coil Cyclone. Moving on to the fourth one. One of the other vehicles that was featured in the Grand Tour was the McLaren 720S. Now, I don't believe there is a one-to-one McLaren 720S in game, so the closest one that I've been able to see is the Italy GTB. Now, this is the regular one. This is not the custom version. I could have done that, but I think it took away from sort of the feel of this car. So the McLaren 720S is a beautiful vehicle, and this car is no exception either. The one they have is all white, and it looks amazing. It's like this pearl white finish. So this one is really, really cool. Like I said, we've got a lot of McLarens in game. We have the P1, the F1, but there isn't really like a 570S or a 720S. This one's kind of a hybrid of both. So that's why I decided to go with it in this video. It might not be exact, and as you'll see a little bit later on with some of the other vehicles, you're not going to get like a 1-to-1 ratio, but it should be close enough. One of the vehicles that I'm incredibly excited for is the Bugatti Chiron. Now, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, Chiron, I'm not sure, but it's Bugatti's flagship hypercar now. We saw Rockstar add the Veyron. Now they have this. Now, for this vehicle, I decided to use the regular Nero, not the Nero Custom, because the one they had in the TV show actually has the retractable spoiler, which is a feature of only the regular Nero. So this car is incredibly cool. Now, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure this is the vehicle that broke like the speed limit or something like that. It was able to get like over 270 miles an hour, which is incredibly fast. The only thing I don't like about this one is the one they had on the show is all gray in this color like this. It would have been really cool if they had like a dark blue, light blue pattern or bright red, dark red pattern, but the one they got was kind of in this like space gray color. and I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of that, but the car itself is absolutely magnificent, and it's just one of the greatest vehicles in my opinion. So number one, I'm glad Rockstar has added this, but I'm excited to see the guys test this on the Grand Tour. Now, these next two vehicles, you're going to have to forgive me a little bit because their exact matches are not in game. So the next vehicle on our list today is the Benefactor Feltzer. So the vehicle that I'm trying to get this to compare to on the Grand Tour is the Mercedes-Benz AMG GTR, which certainly looks a little bit different than that. However, we don't have that in game. And I felt like this was the sportiest Benefactor vehicle we have in the Feltzer. I think that the closest looking one is the Sterling GT, but it's a much older model. So if we could get like this and the Sterling GT combined, it would be perfect. But the Feltzer is going to have to suffice for this one. And the one they've showed off is this beautiful candy apple green with yellow on the brake calipers. It looks so good. I cannot wait for them to review that, as that is one of Mercedes. It's one of my all-time favorite vehicles, the AMG GTR. And again, unfortunately, we couldn't get it exactly with the Feltzer, but I do think it was close enough. Same thing with the next vehicle. This is the Obey Tailgater. Now, the vehicle that the guys in the Grand Tour were actually testing and driving is the Audi TTRS, which is certainly not a four-door sedan. It's more of a sports car. But really, the two Audis we have in the game are this, which is the Tailgater, and the 9F, which is the R8. And it's not that. And it's at least closest to this. And I tried to do the, some similar upgrades to it, like the spoiler and the sports grille and stuff like that. So I tried to get it as close as possible. Same with the color, that like bright pearlescent-y blue. But at the end of the day, it's not a four-door sedan, but it's kind of as close as you can get with the cars we have available right now in Grand Theft Auto Online. There just isn't a two-door Audi sports car, at least a modern one, that we have in game. All right, moving on to the final three vehicles. This one is the Lamborghini Troppo Rally. So this is actually based off of the Lancia 037, which is actually one that they drive in game. Now, the one they drive on the TV show has a Martini livery. We don't have that, unfortunately. We have this like Stronzo air hurler one, which is currently the one I have right now. But at least the colors are roughly the same. The white, the blue, and the red. So this one is going to be so awesome. I think the Lancia cars are amazing rally vehicles. And I did some of the upgrades, like putting the rally lights on there and obviously the spoiler on the back. So this one is going to be so cool when the boys on the Grand Tour test it out. But for now, if you kind of want to create your own, and I love how massive and thick those back tires are, you can use the Troppo Rally and get a pretty similar look that ultimately looks really, really cool. So I'm definitely excited about that. That is the Lamborghini Troppo Rally. Moving on to our final two vehicles, one of the challenges that I am so looking forward to Clarkson and the guys doing is sort of the fun off the beaten path challenges. And one of those challenges involves a Mercedes-Benz W123. Now, I've noticed that the closest version of that is the Benefactor Glendale. Both are 90s to 80s sedans of Mercedes, and it's kind of in this like wine red color. So there's not a whole lot of upgrades going on here, but not only is the Glendale one of my favorite cars, it was featured in GTA San Andreas, but it's almost a perfect match for what the guys on the Grand Tour are using as well. So it's not the flashiest cars when you compare it to like the McLaren 720S and the Bugatti Chiron and the Aventador S, but it still is awesome. It has that nice kind of flair and touch to it that I really, really like. So I'm excited to see the challenge they do with this vehicle right there. And our final one today, we actually see Richard Hammond driving a GMC Trophy Truck, which is kind of cool. So we have the Trophy Truck in game. Now, his didn't have any liveries on it, or at least ones that didn't look, good enough for me to put a livery on there, but it had GMC written on the side. I'm not sure what this one is based off of, but it did look really similar, and that's what we've gone with today. It was kind of in this gray and black pattern with black wheels, and it ultimately looked really, really cool. So that is our 10th and final vehicle today from the Grand Tour. Now, there's a lot others that were shown off in the trailer and maybe in some screenshots, but we wanted to balance two things. Number one, cool vehicles, but also number two, could they be recreated in Grand Theft Auto Online? And I feel like I've done a pretty good job of doing that today. So those are 10 vehicles that you're going to see featured in the Grand Tour Season 2. one of my favorite car TV shows of all time. Let me know which one of these vehicles you think is going to be your favorite in the comments section down below. I already know I'm a huge fan of this McLaren 720S. I just love the look of that car. I'm really excited to see them test out the new Bugatti. And I'd love to see some of the older, funnier car challenges as well with sort of those old school Mercedes. I'm really excited about that. But like I said, let me know which one your favorite is in the comments section down below. I'm excited to hear from you guys down there. If you did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.